Okay.
Because for the time after I had moved out of my parents' house, I stayed with my Uncle Dave now, and who both had actually been tricked by my father to also believe that my mother was bad.
Nobody was tricked. Shonda simply was a bad person. The police report contains countless witness testimonies from family, friends, and teachers who knew something was wrong and believed Shonda to be a bad parent. This wasn't an uncommon opinion. One of Timothy's teachers even told the cops that all the teachers knew he wasn't cared for at home and that he lived through hell most of his life. But to save face, Shonda would make up lies to tell Paul that made her seem perfect and kept his respect, at the cost of making his father seem downright evil. That's what makes this case so controversial. Paul was almost certainly not in control for the majority of this, and he was definitely manipulated by his mother to some extent, but he still went through with everything, and that's what a jury would end up focusing on.
I saw on your phone that you had sent a couple of pictures to your mom.
Yes.
Pretty skinny, and you said, hey, it's nothing but skin. But
yeah, I was very concerned. It just...
Yeah, what do you think that maybe would have been a good time to take him to the doctor, or...?
Yeah, honestly, that probably would have been one too. I don't know.
And then you sent a picture of his legs that were just basically gone, right?
Yeah,
the ones that can't stand, or something along the lines.
Yeah, but the thing is, yesterday and I think the day before, he could walk.
Yeah.
He might need a little support every so often, like he put his hand against the wall or grab the rail of the stairs. But after a couple of seconds, he'd let go and be fine.
Okay.
It was never anything major.
When was the last time he was really talking to you, able to have a conversation, or at least try to have a conversation?
Last time he actually talked was 3 days ago, but the day before, or the day after that, the day before yesterday, he could talk. He talked a small amount in the morning, but then he just sort of was making groans and moans.
It must take an astonishing amount of delusion to believe that not being able to walk or speak isn't anything major. But in reality, that's not what they thought. They thought he was faking it entirely. In fact, on the day before Timothy died, Shonda told Paul to wave warm pizza rolls just in front of him and take them back if he tries to eat them. It all just seems as though they were messing with him to satisfy their own sadistic desires.
What's the photograph in the back of his face? Zoomed in on his face.
He'd been taking a bath, and I went in there to check on him at one point, and he was just kind of laying there. I'm like, "Bud, you okay?" He didn't respond, but he was looking around, and he was breathing. I know that much.
Yeah, but he wasn't talking at that time.
No, and it started to concern me. I'm not sure if I texted Mama about it or not.
Well, you sent a picture to her.
Yeah, I probably should have said something about the ER at that point, though.
Well, I'm sure it's not stupid. You have to think about it like this, right? She sees a grown adult, and if she sees that, that's not all on you, right? You made it, from what I see, you made numerous attempts to say, we need to do something different about this.
Yeah.
We can't keep doing this thing.
I know she's a big person.
Yeah.
Paul is beating himself up because he knows that he assisted in all of this. But notice how Pisk is still trying to reassure Paul and shift the blame away from him. Fortunately, this is about to pay off massively as he starts to talk more about the punishments that Timothy was put through.
I think you have to think about this. Right now is not a time about blaming people, but it's the time to try to figure out when could we have changed things, what could we have done differently, how did we get to the point where we were at? Because, clearly where you guys got to, when you say you moved back, that wasn't a nice enjoyable bath, right? That was a punishment bath. Right? That's a cold, ice cold bath.
I didn't wash that.
How many times would you estimate that you guys get cold baths as a punishment for whatever, for whatever reason?
I think for punishments, I don't exactly know the number, but it wasn't a lot.
Are we talking 5, 10, 20, every day, every other day? I mean, any idea?
5.
Whose idea was to give him a cold bath as a punishment?
It was my mother's. Yeah. I wasn't sure if it would be a punishment effective or not.
Pisk actually knows exactly how often these baths occurred, because Paul and Shonda documented every single instance of this over text, and Timothy was subjected to them constantly. Even worse, they would last up to 9 hours at a time. And remember, Timothy weighed only 69 pounds. He barely had a drop of body fat on him, meaning that he would have felt the effects of the cold considerably more than the average person. This is why the autopsy turned up the evidence of hypothermia and ruled it as one of his main causes of death.
You remember the first time you guys did it? Why? Like, what did you do?
Not exactly.
What did you do on that day that you snapped the photo that made you have to give him a cold bath?
I think it was that he not only peed, but also pooped. And by the end, my mother wasn't too happy because it absolutely reeked. Yeah.
I mean, we talk about that. I understand you into the house and get into all the messages.
Yeah.
Where did you sleep most of the nights in that closet?
As Pisk mentions, Timothy didn't sleep in a bed. He slept in a small, cramped closet that he couldn't even stand up in. And the punishment that Paul mentioned, well, that would have actually happened either way. Inside the basement where Timothy slept were multiple cameras and an alarm on the door. If he'd have gone to the bathroom instead, then he would have been punished for leaving his room. Timothy was completely trapped.
We always wanted what's best, and
So you guys decided to move him into the closet. There's an alarm on the door. What's that for?
When he would try and sneak, because if you notice, there was also one in the garage door. That was also because, there's some food in there that he would try and sneak. And it wasn't just that he was hungry at some point for those. It was that he wanted something sweet.
Again, Pisk is being extremely nice and agreeing directly with what is said, trying to make him feel like what he's saying is still fine, so he incriminates himself even further.
There's traditional food. We talked about bread. For how long was he just eating just bread?
A week or two.
What was he eating before that?
We do ramen, sandwiches, and I think at some points we actually give him like a meal.
Why was it that he couldn't have meals?
The whole thinking.
Paul has no idea what to say. He's starting to realize just how cruel everything he did was, and the gravity of the situation has just hit him. He starved his little brother to death, and he can't even think of a reason why. Regardless of the circumstances or how much influence his mother had over him, he still did all of these horrifying things. And there's still even more to come.
Tell me about the hot sauce. I know that was used as both a punishment and it was put on the bread. Was it always on the bread?
Not always, no. But the thing is, it still hardly did anything for him. There would be times where it would do something for me because I'd accidentally rub my eye after I'd be on there. It was, ow.
What dictates whether or not there's hot? What decides that?
Whenever my mother told me to put a hot sauce on it, I did. From what I know, the California Reaper is like 2,000 Scoville, or 2 million Scoville.
What does that mean?
It's the hot sauce, or the heat index, basically.
Okay. That's pretty high?
Very.
Elijah's Extreme Regret hot sauce is reviewed as not being something you mess around with. It measures out to 800,000 Scoville heat units, just shy of what a fresh ghost pepper would be. Paul and Shonda would routinely feed this to Timothy as a punishment, as well as putting it on the only real food he would get in a day. Pisk also made sure to ask Paul what Scoville units were to make sure he knew exactly how bad what he was doing was. He confirmed that this was very, very hot, to the point of being painful. Yet, he still went through with what he did for weeks.
So, how long have you guys been using hot sauce for?
Almost a month, maybe.
Okay. And was that only on bread, or was that on other stuff too?
I think one time we put it in some rice, but after that I don't think we did that again.
What was the use for bread? Because you're giving bread as a deal. What's the purpose of the hot sauce?
I know it was punishment, but honestly I don't think it was that useful because, like I said, he had no feeling in his tongue. He totally bit a hole in it at one point and didn't even feel it.
Was he eating this bread and hot sauce, or was he?
Yeah.
Is that really the only things he had to eat those days, or would he get other things to eat?
From the bread and rice, other than that, not that I know of.
Okay. Did you see a decline in you during that 4 weeks? Of losing even more weight, or being even less responsive, or what changed when you moved into doing that?
There would be times where it would take him a moment to respond. At first I thought it was just him acting, but then I was getting concerned. I think a week or so maybe ago.
These responses are delayed?
Yeah.
So hot sauce on bread. If you ever put hot sauce on bread, was it ever your own decision to put hot sauce on bread?
No.
Throughout this interrogation, Paul has been consistently using his mother as a scapegoat for everything he's done, that he was just following her orders. But at the same time, it's obvious that he knows his brother was suffering through all of this. Many people are familiar with the Stanford prison experiment. 24 male college students were split into either guards and prisoners, and for 2 weeks, they were supposed to simulate a prison. However, after just 6 days, the experiment had to be terminated due to extreme behavior. The guards quickly adapted to their position of power, and due to their role being enforced and validated by the event conductors, they began to abuse the prisoners to the point of emotional distress. That is to say, Paul was given the opportunity to be in control, and he took full advantage of it, abusing his position. At the same time though, Paul is an adult, and at any point, he could have decided to stop or alert somebody about all of this, but he never did. Pisk is also starting to realize this, so from here on out, he's going to slowly put on the pressure that'll eventually break Paul and make him fully realize the gravity of what he's done.
So, I know that when we talked yesterday in front of your mom, she was lying about some stuff, right? I know that she's a good person. I'm not doubting that at all.
Yeah, we never wanted any of this.
But you also know this, like I know, that some of the things that she was talking about were the truth, right? About, she said she didn't know there was a camera in the bathroom. But the fact of the matter is, she asked you, and she sent you a text message that says, make sure that the camera's in there and take the shower curtain down so I can see him. Didn't she ask you that the day before he passed away?
Yeah.
I know this pepper sports for punishment. And what did she say? She said, I didn't know anything about that. Why do you think
she doesn't want to appear like a bad person. She doesn't want to be the bad guy in this. We never wanted any of this. We want him to be healthy. I know that for a fact. I should have at least put my foot down on something.
Right.
But it's not that I'm afraid of her. I can't fear her because she's not the type to instill fear. I don't know if that's also what caused him to sometimes lie about things as well. Was that he still had this fear of Dad, and then he thought she would be the same. She's nothing like him. That much I know.
But she knows that you shouldn't be using hot sauce as a punishment, right? She knows better than that.
The pressure is already starting to cause Paul to resort to cathartic statements for him. Notice how as soon as Pisk says she was lying, he praises her and makes excuses for her, and then immediately puts his dad down, saying that she's nothing like him. He's scared, and he's trying to throw himself back into a world where he feels safe and comfortable. But that's not the world he lives in, and Pisk is about to expose that once and for all.
So when you first talked to us, and you talked to the police, you said he was on his bunk bed, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the truth.
No.
Okay. He was in that closet that's right there by the bunk bed?
Yeah.
You told us that you heard him snoring. Was that a lie?
Yeah.
And did you come up with that on your own, or did somebody ask you to say that he was in the bed?
I feel so guilty. Like, I could have done something at any point in this.
You think that your mother's telling you to do what's best for him, right? That's what you've been telling me to do.
And I know she wants what's best for all of us.
So, I'm back to my question. Did somebody ask you to say that he was in the bunk bed?
I came up with that on my own.
Pisk notices him start to shut down under the pressure, so eases off just a little, trying to reassure him again that he's not in any trouble and that this isn't his fault. Pisk is almost there. He just needs to get a little more information out of him for the confession, and can't risk Paul shutting down now.
So tell me what really happened in the morning then, because obviously what was told to us wasn't the truth. What really happened?
I woke up and I had been grabbing my shoes. It basically all played out like we said. The whole morning thing was exact. He wasn't breathing in the closet. It was the closet though. We had to get him out of the closet to try and resuscitate.
When you guys pull him out of the closet, does he have clothes at that point, or is he in a diaper, or what's that state?
He had a shirt. I think we had put him in pants or sweatpants. I don't know, maybe some point in the night he took them off.
When you say we, you weren't there though when we went to bed, right?
No.
So how would you know if we put him in sweatpants? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So do you know if he had pants on or not when he was
No,
found?
honestly. But he didn't have them when we got him out. He had the diaper on, at least.
So he has the diaper on. You're saying that he has his shirt on? What shirt did he have on?
The very same sweatshirt that we found him in. Because obviously we didn't want him to get cold. Or I don't think Mama wanted him to get cold.
Does he have pants on or no pants on?
No.
And when we get there, he has pants on.
Yeah, she had me put them on.
She asked you to put pants on. What
Yeah.
was that for?
Pisk is asking some very specific questions about when Timothy was found. What Paul doesn't know is that the cops have an audio recording from one of their cameras from the exact moment they found Timothy dead.
Is he okay?
He feels it's cold. Mom.
Yeah, I know it's cold, but he's not sick, so is he okay? Still up, please. I don't understand.
I don't either. She was calling and we were
Right, yeah. Why don't you just call them?